Is it still rape if he kisses you on the forehead? If you put your head on his shoulder? My name is Rio. I live in Everett, Washington. I am a musician, also a songwriter, spoken word poet. My mother is Hispanic and Mexican, and my father is African American. I've been singing since I was 3. It's just one of the first things that I liked doing. I decided that I wanted to make a career out of it probably when I was about 15. I wanted to start a band. My mom said, no, you can't start a band. So I learned how to play the piano, because I was like, fine, I'll be my own band. Growing up with not a lot of money, any career choice had to be something lucrative. I don't know how to have hobbies. If I am doing something, I'm learning how to turn it into a side hustle. I'm learning how to take it somewhere. And I did not become a spoken word artist until I was 25. I started performing spoken word because I was sexually assaulted when I was 25. My upbringing was very much, you don't air your dirty laundry, you don't talk about how you're hurting, whether it was by accident or design, that was the example I grew up with. And so that was something that I was trying to keep in. Also, there's a lot of stigma because we live in a rape culture. Also, I deal with mental illness. And I remember when I finally told someone, I tried to keep it a secret for a long time. When I finally told someone, they said, I don't see you getting through this alone. And that was the thing that kind of got me to talk about it. And then one night, I fell down a YouTube hole and I saw a spoken word poem and I decided to write my own. Is it still rape if he kisses you on the forehead? If you put your head on his shoulder, if whiskey number 1 or was it 2 sweet talks the car keys from your fingertips and whispers, there's no need to go home just yet. Is it still rape if he gives you a back rub? If he puts on a movie? If beer number 4 or was it 5 says it's safe to spend the night when your cell phone dies after all? That's kind of how I came to understand that isolation and silence they're a killer, and there's strength in solidarity, and it's really, really scary to step up and be vulnerable, especially when there's stigma attached to it. If I can do that, it's really scary, but if I can do that, if I can step my foot forward and be vulnerable and be honest, I know that I'm not the only one who's experienced it, and that it's gonna help other people get it out. In order to teach love, which I think is one of the most important things in existence, you have to teach activism, because there is absolutely no way to oppress people and love them, and there's absolutely no way to go along with an oppressive system and love people. Is it still rape if it didn't happen in a stairwell or an alleyway if you know his name? If he kisses you on the forehead?
My name is Marilee Moore. I'm a glass artist and sculptor, and I'm happy that my objects bring people joy. Art has always been in my life. I've always been artistic, always, either painting or drawing or making something. I had been the chef and house manager for 8 years, and I was doing all this work for people, and one day I thought, hey, you're working for other people, why don't you work for yourself? And so I was taking all these classes at Fine Art Center in Seattle. I was doing metalsmithing, jewelry, on the side of being a chef and house manager. And I like working in stainless because it's permanent. It's like it is what it is. I do like rusty metal. I think it's interesting, but I just like the permanency of the stainless steel. Like, this is how it is. It's strong. It's going to be here. These are called squizzles, this is a leaf form and this is a curly thing, and they can kind of nest together. These are solid glass, actually, and we gather the glass on copper pipe, which is compatible with glass. Normally we do glass blowing on steel pipes, and you break it off. This, you actually gather the glass, you can see it right in there, make the form, then we cut this little piece of copper off and put it in the annealer. It's just understanding the heat, how much glass you have on, and the colors heat differently. Like lapis blue and granny apple green are super, super soft. Enamel white is really stiff. And if you do something, and black is really, really soft. So you have to be conscious of when you're blowing glass, what the color is actually going to do. It's physical, and it's like a dance. It's teamwork, and it's patience, and it's humility, and just so many lessons that you're learning when you're doing it, because it takes time. It's frustrating in the beginning because you're trying to teach your body how to, rubbing your belly and patting your head. And that's how it is when you're doing it. It's like, oh, what do I do with my body? It takes time to train your body to do the stuff. And then the more you do it, the more all that falls away. And then it becomes really fun when you're actually just doing it. People put their objects or whatever in it because it brings them joy. Glass worked for me. I love it. I've been doing it for whatever, I don't even know, over 25 years almost, which is the longest relationship I've had with anything. I think my work is happy, it's colorful. I'm just doing it. I'm having a good time, and I'm sharing that emotion. It's not a real deep, dark story.
My name's Rue Otto. I'm an artist living at Art Space Everett Loft. I'm a polio survivor from 1948. I moved into the building as a writer, and my wife was the painter. I knew my partner was an artist. She was very prolific, had been an artist for 30 years, but I never felt like I was an artist. And moving in here, you kind of have to take it on. You are an artist or they won't let you live here. Slowly I have accepted that about myself, that I am an artist, and now it really fulfills me. It's kind of like ponderous. Well, I'm an artist. When I was in school, I went to college at Ohio State and I studied painting there. I just got really angry at the teachers and the artists, and they just all seemed so full of themselves and were doing ridiculous things, giant stick drawings, and they were just, I'm an artist, and I just thought, I'm not crazy enough to be an artist. To admit that I'm an artist, it took me a while. I find that I write the image, very image thick and bright. So it's kind of the same thing, because I notice, there are certain colors I just will not use because they're muddy and ugly. And I like colors that talk, do a little buzz. And that's how my writing too, I think, is like that. I find that they are much less eager to read the poetry, whereas the picture is right there and they can't get away from it, really. People are not that enjoying of poetry like at an art walk. I had polio. I had it when I was 2 years old. I walked for many years, but when I moved into this building, actually, is when I finally just kind of gave it up, sat down. I've been very happy ever since. I decided to go into the chair. I just have a lot of weakness in my legs and my arms, so I can't really lift above this far. So that makes it hard when I'm working with the big pieces, hauling them around. but I like working with the big pieces. And that's why I have the setup that I do, which is I paint flat and then I just turn it.
I'm Aaron Alonso. I use he, him pronouns. I am production manager at Village Theater Kid Stage in Everett. I supervise all of our production programs at Kid Stage, which is our youth education program. I discovered theater by accident because it was the one thing I was really good at. In high school, early college, there's a lot of societal pressure to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. I found out very quickly how much I loved working in theater. Like when you get bit by the theater bug, you can't leave it. If you introduce, topic or idea, it's good to start young so that way you can cultivate that idea further. And especially with the arts here in the United States, I feel like sometimes the arts gets kind of pushed to the wayside. We have a big push with STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. But there's also the A part of it, which is arts, which changes STEM to STEAM. And I'm a big proponent of STEAM as opposed to STEM. STEM gives us the foundation, but then the A of arts in STEAM gives us the common goal. So like by using science, technology, engineering, and math, you can create arts and culture. The arts gives us the method in which we can then talk about science, technology, engineering, and math. Because at the end of the day, we have something to write about, we have something to talk about, we have something to experience together. By participating in theater and by working in theater, you also cultivate and learn a lot about who you are as an individual, and you learn life skills in that process. Because of course, when it comes to making art, whether it's film, whether it's dance or theater or orchestras or whatever, it's a team effort. You get the opportunity to work with other members who are either professionals or your peers. You get to learn more about your own work ethic and how you like to learn and how you like to operate as an individual. And hopefully by participating in the arts, these young individuals get the opportunity to learn about themselves as well. Whether it's film, television, theater, we are all telling a story in just a variety of ways in different mediums. And that's what we do. Be that small push behind the scenes, like that is so fulfilling for me because I want other individuals to have their moment. Everyone is an artist and a storyteller in their own way. And some of us forget. You tell a story when you're designing bridges or building a skyscraper. You're telling a story in that regard. For us, it's very tangible, where it's like you are actively telling a story or making a point that you hope gets across. There's no I in team, and you just hope that you get a lot of people along the ride with you to experience in that journey, and that's really fun.
My name is John Pocock Titus, owner of Pocock Racing Shells. We've referred to this as industrial art from day one. We are making racing shells, get referred to as the long, skinny crew boats that get rowed by athletes all over the world. It's an old sport, and we are the oldest boat maker in the world. First of all, rowing, collegiate rowing, is the oldest intercollegiate sport in the United States. Not football, not basketball, not soccer. Rowing was the oldest sport in college athletics, and that started with the Harvard-Yale race back right after the turn of the century, the previous century. 100 years ago, the boats were all wood, and now they're all carbon fiber and other high-tech, high-end composites. So drastically different materials, yet a lot of the critical dimensions have stayed the same. They're still 57 feet long, they're still roughly 2 feet wide. So they look, to the layperson, they really look the same, but they're drastically different. The wooden boats were heavier, carbon fiber boats are much stiffer. Stiffer boats transmit the athlete's effort and power generated more efficiently to the water, so ultimately produces a faster boat. What am I most proud of these boats? I believe our boats relative to our competitors' boats are actually quite beautiful. The sport in general invokes a lot of beauty. It's quiet, it's peaceful, the serenity of being on the water, all those things meld and can give you an experience that is like none other if you allow it. Because of that though, and a major part of that is the tool that you're using to create this art. And George Pocock called rowing a symphony of motion. It's about the marriage of the wood of the boats with the water and the soul melding together to create a harmonious event. Boats are built for a very specific function, but that doesn't mean that you can forget about some of the things that make it beautiful for everybody else as well. A lot of the rigidity of this boat comes in the washboard design and the angle of your pieces up here. The carbon fiber in it of itself is quite beautiful and finished with clear coat, and then that can change in different lighting, and it can be quite beautiful. Because I love the fact that the definition of artist is loosely defined, so yes, I can call myself an artist. You have to look at the sport as a whole. I don't think if you walked in the shop like you have today and just looked at the boats, I don't know if they would stand out as being artful. But I believe when you went to an event or watched one being rowed, and whether it was the fall foliage on the river in Boston, or it was a sunny day here in Seattle, and you saw the crews doing work, I think then you would truly understand the art that is the boats, which are a major part of the rowing, which is the true art.
My name's Jason. I'm a musician and entertainer. I'm pretty modest in my thoughts of what art can do. I'm an accordion player, I'm an entertainer, I fix old houses, I build bad boats, I sometimes organize things, and I guess, yeah, I'm an artist. It's just never how I have conceived myself. I think for many years I had a real sense of, purpose, and that I was doing like the best thing that I could be doing with my time and my skills in this world. And I think at some point I started to wonder if that was still true. An artist is a person whose focus in life is striving to express something that's perhaps inexpressible and communicate in some medium something that can't just rationally be expressed. We've seen a lot of horrific things happen in our lives. Like there's a new rise of totalitarianism in this country, in Europe, everywhere. We can make a bunch of punk rock songs. We already have though. The 60s happened, the 80s happened. I don't know that my music's gonna change that. I think the ways that we can change things are small and subtle.
And slowly, inch by inch, when I want to go back, I lost the way. She beckoned me to lie beneath the stove that always wore my name. And I say that the world is...
I think when it's a political act, it can be very powerful, but it also will shut, like many people won't listen. If it's an overtly political act in a divided world, you now are either speaking to the people that are already on your side, saying go away to the people that aren't. There's more strength in avoiding that, if possible. But I think there's time to be very direct, and I think right now there are things to be very direct about.